Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be born with such a special calling? Why do certain souls carry unique gifts from the cradle? Perhaps you feel deep in your heart that you were born for something greater. In a moment of deep prayer, kneeling before the altar of his small chapel in San Giovanni Rotondo, Padre Pio received one of his most extraordinary revelations. In a divine ecstasy, his eyes beheld a mystery he would keep for decades, the sacred meaning hidden in each month of the year. God marks his chosen ones from the womb, Padre Pio would whisper to his closest spiritual children. This saint of the stigmata who bore Christ's wounds for 50 years kept in his heart a truth that would forever change our understanding of divine purpose. It was not a mere coincidence the month in which you were born. During his long hours of prayer and his deepest moments of mystical ecstasy, Padre Pio began to notice divine patterns, special characteristics, unique gifts, and specific callings tied to each month of the year. Each month, he said, with eyes shining with a supernatural light, is like a divine mark, a seal from heaven indicating a special mission. Today, for the first time, these revelations will be shared in full. During his 58 years of ministry, Padre Pio spent countless hours in the confessional. It was there, listening to thousands of souls, that he began to perceive something extraordinary. People born in the same month shared similar spiritual traits, faced similar challenges, and even more surprisingly, had related divine missions. These are not mere coincidences, the saint explained. It is God's perfect plan manifesting, as written in Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. The moment of your birth holds a sacred mystery, Padre Pio would say with a firm voice, a divine secret that few can comprehend. After decades of observing thousands of souls, he began to notice a celestial pattern that would forever change our understanding of God's plan. In his long nights of prayer, when the world slept and only candles lit the small chapel, Padre Pio received extraordinary visions about the special gifts tied to each month of the year. It is no coincidence, he revealed, that you were born exactly in the month you were born. God chose that specific moment to mark your soul with a divine purpose. The year, Padre Pio explained, is like a great divine mosaic. Each month carries a special color, a unique gift, a sacred mission. With a gaze that seemed to pierce eternity itself, he began to reveal the mysteries God had entrusted to him. In his hands, marked by the stigmata, he held precious knowledge, the key to understanding why some people seem to be born with such a special calling, why certain souls carry such specific gifts from the cradle. Today, for the first time, Padre Pio's mystical revelations about the hidden meaning of your birth month will be shared, a knowledge kept for decades that explains why God chose exactly that month for you to be born. Prepare your heart. What you are about to discover may completely change your understanding of your place in the divine plan. Some were born to heal, others to liberate, others to transform. And you, what is your special mission? Write it in the comments along with your birth date. January, the month of divine visionaries. Those born in January, Padre Pio revealed with a special gleam in his eyes, carry a unique mark of God in their souls. They are the ones who can see the light even in the darkest night. When everyone around them is lost and confused, they maintain a clarity that comes directly from heaven. It is as if God placed in them a special pair of eyes, the saint explained to his followers. While ordinary people see only problems, the children of January perceive divine solutions unfolding before their eyes. It is a powerful gift, but it comes with great responsibility. Padre Pio observed that these people have a special connection with dreams and visions. Many times, he said, They wake up in the middle of the night with ideas and solutions that can only come from above. It is God speaking to them directly, showing them paths that others cannot see. But this gift is not without challenges. Those born in January often feel alone, explained Padre Pio, because they see things that others cannot yet understand. Like Noah, who built an ark when there were no signs of rain, they must trust what God shows them, even when everyone else doubts. These special souls, the saint continued, have a unique mission. They are like beacons in times of storm. When everyone is lost in the dark, they are the ones God uses to show the way. Their words bring clarity where there is confusion, hope where there is despair. Padre Pio noted that those born in January possess extraordinary inner strength. It is impressive, he said, how they manage to keep their faith even when everything seems to go wrong. According to him, this strength is no coincidence. It is because God has placed in them a special certainty, a spiritual anchor that does not waver with the storms of life. If you were born in January, the saint concluded with conviction, you must know that God chose you to be light. Do not doubt when you receive visions or different ideas, nor fear following what God shows you, even if no one else understands it. You were born to be a guide in difficult times, a beacon destined to help others find their way back to God. On the other hand, the children of February, Padre Pio revealed with unmistakable tenderness, possess a heart that beats in rhythm with the heart of God. They are the ones who feel the pain of others as if it were their own. When someone suffers, explained the saint, they cannot remain still. It is as if God himself pushes them to act. It was fascinating to observe how they moved through the world. Where others passed by, they stopped. Where others judged, they welcomed. Where others condemned, they forgave. They were, he said, like the outstretched hands of Jesus in today's world, touching wounded hearts and bringing healing. Padre Pio explained that these souls have a special gift for prayer. When someone born in February prays, he recounted, heaven seems to open. Their prayers have a distinct power because they come from a heart that feels what God feels. It is as if God had given them a special part of his compassionate heart. However, this gift is not easy to bear. The saint warned that many of them feel an enormous weight as they carry the sorrows of others. Like Jesus in Gethsemane, they experience nights of agony, feeling the burden of others' sufferings. But it is precisely in that pain where their gift blooms most intensely. A unique characteristic that Padre Pio highlighted in these people was their ability to see beauty where others see only ruins. They have the gift of discovering the hidden gold in every soul, that divine spark often buried under layers of pain and suffering. The most astonishing thing, he affirmed, is how they manage to help others see that same beauty within themselves. If you were born in February, the saint said, do not ignore when your heart aches for others. Do not try to harden it when the pain feels too much. God made you sensitive for a reason. You are like a musical instrument in divine hands. The more sensitive you are, the more beautiful the music you produce. And he firmly reminded, you do not heal anyone. It is God who heals through you. Your job is simply to be available, to keep your heart open, and to allow God's love to flow through you to those who need it. Those born in March, said Padre Pio with enthusiasm, are like spring itself, bringing new life wherever they go. God has given them a special strength to renew what seems dead or hopeless. They see life sprouting even in the most barren land, the saint shared. It's impressive how they work. They possess an energy that seems inexhaustible. Where others see only a desert, they imagine a flourishing garden. Where people say, it's impossible, they respond with the conviction that, with God, all things are possible. They are true renewers of faith. Padre Pio explained that these people have a special gift for bringing hope. It's as if they carry spring within themselves, he said. Even in the harshest winter of the soul, they manage to make flowers of hope bloom. Their words warm hearts, frozen by discouragement, and renew faith where it seemed extinguished. This gift manifests in surprising ways. The saint observed that when they enter a heavy, sorrowful environment, something begins to change. It's as if they bring with them a fresh breeze from the Holy Spirit. People start to smile more, hope flourishes, and faith is strengthened. However, he also warned about the challenges they face. It's not easy to be a renewer, he said. Sometimes they will be called to bring life to situations that seem completely dead. Like Ezekiel in the valley of dry bones, they will have to prophesy life where there is only death. But they should not fear, because God would not have given them this gift without the necessary strength to use it. If you were born in March, the saint advised, do not be surprised if God places you in difficult situations. It is precisely in those places where your gift shines the brightest. Where others see only problems, you will see opportunities for God to act. Where others give up, you will find the strength to carry on. And he firmly reminded, your mission is to be an instrument of renewal in God's hands. Like spring, which doesn't force flowers to bloom, but creates the perfect conditions for it to happen naturally, so should your work be. Be patient and trust that in due time, life will flourish wherever God has planted you. Trusting in God's timing is a lesson that the children of April embody naturally. Padre Pio revealed with a steady gaze that these souls are God's chosen warriors. They are not warriors wielding metal swords, but warriors of light, fighting with the invisible weapons of love and truth. God has granted them a special strength to face the spiritual battles of these challenging times. It is fascinating to observe how they act, said the saint. While many flee from spiritual combat, they move forward with courage. Where there is deceit, they bring truth. Where hatred reigns, they respond with love. And where injustice dominates, they fight tirelessly for justice. They are, without a doubt, soldiers of Christ deployed in today's world. Padre Pio noted a unique characteristic in them. They possess the heart of a lion and the soul of a lamb, strong like David before Goliath, yet tender like Jesus with children. This duality makes them powerful in spiritual warfare, for they know how to discern when it is time to fight and when it is necessary to show mercy. The most impressive thing, the saint continued, is how they manage to maintain unshakable inner peace, even in the midst of battle. It's as if they carry a secret refuge deep in their hearts, an internal sanctuary where they find the strength to keep going. This peace not only sustains them, but also confounds the enemy and strengthens those around them. However, being a warrior of light is no easy task, Padre Pio warned. Many times you will have to fight alone, facing battles that others do not understand. Like Jesus in the desert, you will be tested both in your strength and in your faith. But do not fear. You were born for this, and God will never let you fight alone. If you were born in April, the saint advised, embrace your warrior nature. Do not run from the battles that God places in your path, for they are opportunities for spiritual victory. Always remember that your greatest struggles are not against people, but against invisible forces that seek to extinguish faith and love in the world. And never forget, Padre Pio concluded, that your greatest strength does not lie within yourself, but in God, who dwells within you. Just as David defeated Goliath, not with a sword, but with a simple sling and unshakable faith, you too will triumph, not with human strength, but with the power of the Holy Spirit that resides in you. May, the month of the prophets of joy. Those born in May, said Padre Pio with a radiant smile, are bearers of divine joy. God has planted within them a happiness that the world cannot take away. They are like blooming gardens, capable of spreading the fragrance of God's joy even on the darkest days. It is an extraordinary gift, the saint explained. It's not a superficial happiness that fluctuates with circumstances, but a deep joy that flows directly from the inexhaustible source of divine love. When a child of May enters a place, it's as if the sun itself has walked through the door. Everything lights up, life blossoms, and hope is reborn. Padre Pio observed how these people possess a special gift for lifting the fallen. "It's impressive how they work," he said. "They can find someone immersed in tears and within minutes transform those tears into a smile. They see a discouraged soul and with simple but light-filled words rekindle their hope. They are like divine musicians. Their gestures and words compose a melody that resonates in hearts. However, don't think their lives are free from trials," the saint warned. "The children of May also face their own battles against sadness. Like Jesus, who wept over Jerusalem, they deeply feel the pain of the world. But it is precisely this experience that makes their joy even more powerful, because it is a joy that has triumphed over sorrow and blossomed from the fertile ground of pain overcome." "The most beautiful thing," continued Padre Pio, "is that they have a special gift for celebrating life. Where others see routine, they discover small daily miracles. Where some complain, they find hidden blessings. They are like children marveling at every detail, seeing in each leaf, each ray of sunshine, a divine work of art." "If you were born in May," the saint advised, "don't let the world steal your joy. When sadness knocks at your door, remember that you are the guardian of a precious treasure, the joy of the Lord. Your mission is to spread that light, especially in places where it seems impossible to find it. And never forget," concluded Padre Pio, "that your joy is not just for you. It is a gift that multiplies when shared. Where others see darkness, you are called to be the spark that announces a new dawn. You are the echo of God's promise that after every storm, the sun will shine again. Joy is a powerful tool against darkness. Just as Mary sang the Magnificat, even in uncertain times, you are called to be a voice of praise amid chaos. Your joy is not just yours. It is a gift from God to heal a world wounded by sorrow. June is the month of the builders of the kingdom. Those born in June, Padre Pio revealed with admiration, are God's architects on earth. They have a special gift for building the kingdom of God where others see only ruins. They are like those who rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem, working with one hand while wielding the sword of faith with the other. "It's wonderful to see how they act," the saint explained. "They possess a unique ability to organize, plan, and execute projects that would seem impossible to others. Where many see only problems, they are already designing solutions. Like divine master builders, knowing exactly which stone to place in the right spot to construct something beautiful for God." Padre Pio observed that these builders have a special vision. "They have eyes that see the invisible," he said. Like Moses building the tabernacle, they can visualize God's project even before it materializes. Their faith transcends the present. They see what God wants to establish and work tirelessly to make it a reality. "It's not an easy path," the saint warned. "They will often face resistance, criticism, and even persecution. Like Nehemiah, they will have to deal with those who try to stop God's work. However, there is something inside them that prevents them from giving up. The most impressive thing," continued Padre Pio, "is their ability to unite people around a greater purpose. They have a natural gift for leadership, not based on power or authority, but on service and example. They are like Paul, capable of building strong communities in faith." "If you were born in June," the saint advised, "don't be afraid to dream big with God. Your projects and ideas are not coincidences. They are divine inspirations planted in your heart. You were chosen to be a builder of the kingdom, to raise structures that glorify God and bless His people." And he firmly reminded, The greatest project you are building is not made of bricks and cement, but of transformed lives. Just as Jesus the carpenter built more than furniture, you are called to construct something that will last for eternity. July, the month of the liberators. The children of July, said Padre Pio with a firm voice, are the liberators chosen by God. Like Moses before the Red Sea, they possess the divine power to open paths where there seem to be only walls. God has granted them a special authority to break chains, both spiritual and emotional. It's impressive to observe how they act, explained the saint. They have a gaze that penetrates beyond appearances, capable of seeing the invisible prisons that bind people, fears, traumas, addictions, wounds of the soul. But most importantly, they know how to help free those souls. They are like keys in God's hands, opening doors that seemed forever closed. Padre Pio highlighted something unique in these liberators. They carry supernatural strength, he said. It's not a strength that comes from themselves, but directly from the throne of God. When they speak words of liberation, chains begin to break. When they pray, walls fall. They are like God's trumpets, whose sound causes the enemy's structures to collapse. However, this mission is not easy. Like Moses, the saint warned, they will often face pharaohs, situations, people, and circumstances that resist liberation. They will witness the power of darkness up close and feel the weight of spiritual battle. But they must not fear, because the same authority God gave to Moses, he has given to them. The most beautiful thing, continued Padre Pio, is that these liberators have personally experienced the freedom they now offer to others. Many have passed through their own prisons and deserts, and it is precisely in those experiences that they learn the secrets of true liberation. Like Joseph, who went from prison to the palace, they understand that God even uses prisons to prepare those called to set others free. If you were born in July, the saint advised, do not ignore this calling. When you see someone chained by depression, addictions, fear, or resentment, remember that God wants to use you as an instrument of liberation. Your own story is your most powerful tool. And he concluded with a fundamental teaching. Never forget that true freedom comes from the love of God. Jesus did not use violence to liberate, but the power of love and truth. You are called to set others free with compassion, and your words must always be wrapped in that divine love. August, the month of the guardians of truth. Those born in August, Padre Pio revealed with a piercing gaze, are the guardians of divine truth. Like John the Baptist in the wilderness, they have a voice unafraid to proclaim the truth, even when it is difficult to hear. God has placed within them a sacred fire that burns intensely, a fire that drives them to defend justice, faith, and authenticity, even in the face of opposition. The sacred fire burning within those born in August reflects their divine mission as guardians of truth. Padre Pio revealed, with a penetrating look, that these souls are called to be luminous beacons amid confusion. It's extraordinary to observe how they act, said the saint. They possess a clarity that seems to come directly from heaven. When everything around them is shrouded in half-truths and confusion, they stand firm, always pointing to the true north, which is Christ. They are like living compasses, unwaveringly pointing to the truth, no matter the chaos surrounding them. Padre Pio noticed something special in these guardians, a heart burning with passion for the truth. They cannot remain silent in the face of lies or injustice. Like the ancient prophets, they feel an inner fire that compels them to speak, but their voice does not rise with hatred or anger. They speak from love because they understand that truth without love is like a sword without a handle, impossible to wield without causing harm. Don't think this path will be easy, the saint warned. Like John the Baptist, they will often feel alone, misunderstood, and even persecuted for proclaiming the truth. The world doesn't always want to hear it. It prefers to hide in comfortable lies. But you have been chosen for this time to be voices that resonate with the power of truth when falsehood seeks to reign. The most impressive thing, continued Padre Pio, is their ability to see the truth beyond appearances. They have a special gift for discerning between the authentic and the false, like goldsmiths capable of distinguishing pure gold from imitations. They can recognize God's truth even when it is hidden beneath layers of deception. If you were born in August, advised the saint, do not fear your mission. When you feel that inner fire urging you to denounce injustice or proclaim a truth, do not extinguish that calling. You were chosen to be a guardian of truth in these times of confusion. And he reminded, your mission is not just to point out error, but also to show the way to the light. Just as Jesus not only exposed the lies of his time, but also guided with love and truth, you are called to be a beacon that not only warns, but also leads toward the safe harbor. September is the month of the transformers. The children of September, said Padre Pio with a special gleam in his eyes, are souls chosen to change the world. Like the month that marks the transition between seasons, they have the divine gift of transforming not just situations, but also hearts. God has placed in them a special strength to change what seems unchangeable. It's fascinating to observe how they work, explained the saint. Where others see lost causes, they see opportunities for renewal. They have the ability to discover hidden potential in every person and situation. They are like potters in God's hands, knowing that even the hardest clay can become a work of art if molded with love and patience. Padre Pio highlighted something unique in these transformers. They have anointed hands for change, he said. When they touch something broken, it begins to heal. Upon entering an environment heavy with negativity, their presence transforms it, as if they carry within them a spark of God's transforming power. Like Jesus, who turned water into wine, they can transform sadness into joy, fear into courage, and failure into victory. However, this path is not without challenges. They will often face resistance to change, warned the saint. People fear the new, even if the old causes them pain. Like Moses, who heard the people's complaints longing for Egypt, you will also face obstacles. But you must not be discouraged, for that resistance is the first sign that change is already underway. The most beautiful thing, continued Padre Pio, is that these transformers are, in themselves, witnesses of God's power. Many have undergone profound transformations in their own lives and thus firmly believe in the possibility of change. Like Paul, who went from persecutor to apostle, they know that no one is beyond the reach of God's transforming love. If you were born in September, advised the saint, embrace your calling. When you face situations that seem impossible, remember that you have the divine gift of transformation. Your hands have been anointed to restore, and your steps are guided toward places in need of change. And he concluded, never forget that the deepest transformation always begins in the heart. Like Jesus, who changed lives by first touching the heart, you are called to be an agent of lasting change, capable of transforming not just circumstances, but entire souls. October, the month of the conquerors. Those born in October, Padre Pio revealed with a firm and inspired voice, are God's conquerors. Like Joshua before the walls of Jericho, they have a special gift for tearing down barriers that seem impossible to overcome. God has placed within them a supernatural strength to conquer spiritual territories, open new paths, and claim victories for his kingdom. It's impressive to see how they act, explained the saint. They possess a courage that does not come from themselves, but descends directly from heaven. Where others see invincible giants, they see opportunities for God's power to manifest with glory. Padre Pio highlighted something special in these conquerors. They have eagle eyes, he said. They see beyond the visible, reaching horizons that others can't even imagine. This ability allows them not only to identify goals, but also to inspire others to believe in what seems impossible. They are anointed warriors who do not fear battle because they know that victory does not depend on their own strength, but on the Lord who fights by their side. Every obstacle they face is an opportunity for God's power to be made visible in their lives. Even at 85 years old, they still ask for mountains to conquer, for those born in October never lose their conquering spirit. Their strength does not diminish with age, because their power does not come from the flesh, but from the Spirit. However, Padre Pio warned, being a conqueror does not mean acting recklessly. Like David, who patiently waited for the right moment to claim the throne, conquerors know when to advance and when to pause. They possess the wisdom to plan each step of their conquest and the unwavering faith to carry out God's plan. They are strategists of the kingdom, where every decision is guided by prayer and spiritual discernment. The most admirable thing, continued Padre Pio, is their ability to inspire others to become conquerors as well. They have a special gift for awakening the spirit of conquest in those around them, just as Joshua transformed a people of slaves into a nation of conquerors. They know how to turn fear into courage, how to instill bravery in hearts that have known fear. If you were born in October, the saint advised, do not underestimate your conquering spirit. When God shows you a mountain to conquer, don't look at your own size, but at the size of your God. You were chosen to conquer territories that others fear to even dream of. And he concluded firmly, your conquests are not for your own glory, but for the glory of God. Like Joshua, who attributed every victory to the Lord, you are called to be a humble conqueror, strong in battle yet gentle in heart. Padre Pio taught that the confirmation of your calling comes through signs that God places in your life from birth. They are like divine seals that confirm your special mission. Let's discover how to identify these signs. The first sign, the saint explained, is the inner calling. It manifests as a soft and persistent voice, a divine whisper that has accompanied you since childhood. This calling can present itself in three ways: a sacred restlessness that never disappears, recurring dreams related to your purpose, and an inexplicable desire to serve in a specific way. The second sign is divine coincidences. For God, there are no coincidences, said Padre Pio. These are signs he places on your path to guide you. Observe the patterns in your life, situations that repeat, people who seek your help in a particular area, or doors that open easily in the realm of your gift. The third sign is the confirmation of fruits. A tree is known by its fruits, taught the saint. Your birth month and your purpose are reflected in the natural results you produce. You will see how people are impacted when you operate in your area of gifting, how surprising outcomes occur without apparent effort, and how others recognize your talent without you having to mention it. The fourth sign is found in your childhood. God marks his chosen ones early on. Recall the games you preferred, the roles you naturally assumed in groups, or the comments adults made about your abilities. Often, those early inclinations reflect glimpses of your calling. The fifth sign is specific battles. Every gift faces particular challenges. The enemy will try to prevent you from fulfilling your purpose by attacking directly in the area of your strength. You can identify these attacks through recurring challenges, specific fears related to your calling, or discouragement that arises when you are close to fulfilling your mission. The sixth sign is supernatural confirmation. God always affirms a calling with clear signs. Stay alert to prophetic words that resonate with your purpose, dreams and visions that reinforce your mission, or even supernatural situations that validate the path you are following. And finally, the seventh sign, the most important one, is the impact of your gift on the lives of others. The true purpose is revealed through the real transformations you bring to those around you. Spontaneous testimonies, lasting fruits, and profound changes in the lives of others will be the proof that you are walking in the purpose God designed for you. Padre Pio concluded, "When you discover your month and your calling, you will see that your whole life makes sense. All the pieces fit together, revealing God's perfect plan for you." Each month, he revealed in his final days, is like a note in God's grand symphony. And when all those notes play together, they form the most beautiful music of heaven on earth. January brings forth the visionaries, those who see beyond the veil of the ordinary. February gifts us the healers of souls who carry divine balm to wounded hearts. March awakens the renewers who make all things new. April brings the warriors of light, ready for the spiritual battles of our time. May blooms with the prophets of joy who keep hope alive. June raises the builders of the kingdom who construct what others consider impossible. July shapes the liberators capable of breaking spiritual and emotional chains. August guards the keepers of truth who proclaim the light amidst the darkness. September transforms with divine agents of change, those who turn pain into purpose. October forges the conquerors, called to tear down walls and open new paths. Each of you is an essential part of this divine melody. Your life, your mission, your story, all form part of the heavenly symphony that resonates on earth for the glory of God. July brings freedom through the liberators, breaking invisible chains that bind the soul. August keeps the flame of truth alive through the guardians. September transforms realities with the power of divine transformers. October conquers new horizons through God's conquerors. November lifts powerful prayers in the hands of the chosen intercessors, and December illuminates the way with the light of those who carry the reflection of the divine. But remember, warned Padre Pio, it is not the month that makes you special, but the God who chose that month for your birth. He planned every detail, every moment, every gift. Nothing is accidental in the divine plan. In his final moments of teaching on this topic, Padre Pio left a message that resonates with power. It doesn't matter which month you were born, you are part of something much greater. You are a link in a heavenly chain, an essential member of a divine army where each one has their specific function, their unique gift, their special mission. Together, we form the body of Christ on earth, each complementing the other, each indispensable in their purpose. And now, the saint concluded solemnly, knowing the meaning of your month, a greater responsibility rests upon your shoulders. You can no longer pretend you don't know. You can no longer ignore your calling. Knowledge brings with it a sacred burden, the responsibility to live in coherence with the truth you have discovered. Go, commanded Padre Pio, and live your calling with all intensity. Let your light shine, let your gift flow, let your mission be fulfilled. The world needs your specific gift, your unique note in this divine symphony. Remember always, you are not alone in this mission. The same God who chose the exact moment of your birth is with you now, giving you the strength necessary to fulfill your purpose. Just as the star of Bethlehem shone at the right moment to guide the wise men, your gift will shine exactly when it's needed, illuminating paths you don't even know exist yet. Now that you know the sacred meaning of your birth month, a profound and inescapable truth is revealed. You are not here by chance. As Padre Pio said, God does not play dice with the universe. Every birth is a thought of God's love, a deliberate act of creation filled with purpose. Your birth month is like a divine signature stamped on your soul, a mark of God's love that reveals your unique purpose. As you discovered today, each month carries with it unrepeatable gifts, specific missions, a sacred calling that only you can fulfill. In Padre Pio's words, do not underestimate your calling. Do not ignore the gifts God has planted within you. The world needs your light, your mission, your unique purpose. And now, dear child of God, a special question for you. How has this revelation touched you? In which month were you born? Share in the comments how you identified with your special gift. Your story could be precisely the light someone else needs to find their way today. If this message touched your soul, don't keep this blessing just for yourself. Share it with someone who needs to discover their divine purpose. Activate the notification bell to receive more spiritual revelations like this. And always remember, you are not just another person in the world. You are chosen by God, born in a special month with a unique mission that only you can fulfill. May God bless your path, illuminate your mission, and strengthen your special gifts. With the blessing of Padre Pio, go and let your unique light shine in the world. Until our next encounter, remain in the peace and love of God.